station for some rest and relaxation.
Our library is well stocked with priceless first editions. Only ghost stories, of course.
Yo ho, a parrot's life for me. A parrot's life for me. A parrot's life for me.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
WDW Radio, your information station. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WDW Radio Show, your Walt Disney World information station. I am your host, Lou Mangello, and this is show number 264 for the week of March 4th, 2012. Beyond the attractions in Walt Disney World, there are so many wonderful, overlooked opportunities, experiences, and events, not just for adults, but for kids as well. And so this week, we're going to look at some special events just for kids and families, both in and out of the Walt Disney World theme parks. I'll have some more information about upcoming events, including the WDW Radio Day at the Ballpark, as well as a few other announcements before playing more of your voicemails at the end of the show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the WDW Radio Show. Over the years, going back to early 2005 when I started podcasting, I've always enjoyed highlighting, exploring, introducing you to, and of course, researching some of Walt Disney World's special experiences, events, and opportunities. From things like food and wine, to the Wild Africa Trek, to Grand One cruises, and everything in between, there are countless ways to enhance and plus, to use a Walt term, your Walt Disney World vacation. But in the past many years, two things happened to help expand my views and the enjoyment of the Disney parks. And they are my two kids. And now I've gone from seeing Walt Disney World as a child, being taken there every year by my parents, thanks Mom and Dad, to an adult who's still trapped in a 43-year-old body, to now a parent of two children that share a common love of Disney, because of course I'm raising them right. But while a lot of kids, they sort of just revel in the attractions, the shows, and the character encounters, there are also some very special kid events as well. And so joining me this week to look at some of our favorite special events for kids is a dad and a kid at heart himself. He is, of course, Chuck Lionberger from DisneyDaddy.blogspot.com. Chuck, welcome back, my friend.
Hey, Lou, as always, it's a wonderful pleasure to be back. And it's nice to know I'm not the only one who's much like Peter Pan and just frankly refuses to grow up.
Chuck, we are, I think, among many people who share that. I think that's one of the things that bonds a lot of us who are Disney enthusiasts together is that we are kids at heart and we don't mind, sharing that with other people, acting like kids when we are there. But now we're also parents. We both have kids of various ages. I have a young girl who's 8 going on 35. I've got a boy who's almost 7, and you have kids in varying age ranges as well, too.
As well, I've got a girl at age 10 and boys ages now 12 and 14. So I'm starting to enter the very dangerous world of teenagers. Just wait, buddy. Just wait. It gets a lot more fun.
I'm not listening. I don't want to even.
Good luck to you.
I don't want to know. But listen, we're fortunate. We've taken our kids a number of times over the years. Look, even now that I live here, it's still special for them to go to Walt Disney World. We don't go every day. We don't even go every week. So when we go, it's still special for them. But I think sometimes we as parents want to give them special experiences as well. And look, we have so many that we as adults have enjoyed that really are geared more towards adults. I think about things like Party for the Senses. I mentioned Wild Africa Trek, backstage tours, some great D23 events that, kids can come to a lot of them, but they're not really for the kids per se. So I think it'll be fun to look at things that are specifically geared towards kids, both inside the park and at some of the resorts as well. And I don't mean just, kiddie pools and things like that. These are some special sort of add-on experiences like we as adults get to experience as well.
Some of those tours, in fact, are for 16 and older, so some of the kids, frankly, can't even participate because they're not allowed to. We're going to look on the flip side. There are going to be some of the things that we're going to talk about where the adults aren't allowed. They literally are for kids only, and we're talking about kids ages 4 to 12. So there are a lot of things that Walt Disney World offers for kids that are really targeted to that kid level. Now, again, we're all kids at heart, but for things that a child would truly just light up at, and there's a number of them, and we can go both in and outside of the park. In the first, and if you really think about it, Walt Disney World is all about family, and we were talking about tours and things like that older kids and adults can participate in, but Disney offers at the Magic Kingdom a very special tour, and in fact it's called the Family Magic Tour, and it's really designed for kids, and it's all about kids, and in the end it's the kids who in many ways lead the tour throughout the park.
Yeah, and I like this tour for a number of reasons, because while most of the other tours, because they do go backstage, are for kids 16 and up, this one really is geared towards a certain age range. You're thinking maybe 4 to 10, 4 to 11 years old or so. Yes, adults can come, but it really is about and by and for these kids, because it's not really, this is how we built Space Mountain. It's an adventure kind of game. It's a quest. There's really giving them the opportunity to sort of play scavenger hunt through the Magic Kingdom, solve puzzles, and really sort of have ownership of the tour as opposed to being kids along with their families doing it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guide, of course, who is kind of leading the adventure to where, the ultimate and the final destination is. But along the way, the kids really kind of dictate what all happens. And the guides are very well trained and prepared to really walk around and be a kid. Let the kids jump up and dance. Hey, okay, we're going to skip to the next destination. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And of course, there, for the Family Magic Tour, there's a huge pirate map or a type of map that will be followed, and there are different clues. And the kids are the ones who figure out these different clues to figure out where next we're going to go. And so while they're enjoying this whole scavenger hunt throughout the park, they are kind of learning a little bit of the backstory, again on a kid level, about what is all there at Walt Disney World and in the different areas. And fortunately, I guess they don't talk about the River of Pooh, Lou, but we'll save that for a different tour.
The River of Pooh, when I give tours, is huge with the 8-year-old crowd. So.
I bet it is.
But yeah, I like this because it takes the kids and sort of on a secondary level, their parents, if they go with them, on a tour through the Magic Kingdom where, they are encouraged to sort of look up and look around and learn more, but there's a story that goes with it. There is a quest that goes on. There is an adventure that they are on. So there's a story that the tour revolves around. And yes, there is that educational aspect of it as well. When I think about tours with kids like this, where they become fascinated, and this is where you first start hearing, they come back and they say, Mom and Dad, I want to be an Imagineer. I want to help. I want to work at Disney World. I want to, help create these kind of things. And I like that. And the other thing I like about this tour too, Chuck, is, yes, Magic Kingdom admission not included, but it's only $27 for adults and kids and, plus tax. It's offered every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, so there's always an opportunity for the most part to participate. It's a great way for little kids to be able to interact with and play with and meet other kids as well, too. It's only about 2 hours, so it's not going to completely exhaust the kids, and it really is, again, it's a fun, interactive quest. There's a lot of surprises that we aren't going to spoil for them,
right?
That they sort of get to. There's takeaways from this as well, too.
Oh, yeah, there's takeaways. Parents, if you do the Family Magic Tour, you might want to bring your camera. All I'm going to say, you never know who you might meet along the way. But you're right. It's not very expensive at all. And it's something that's very affordable for families, only about 2 hours long. And so, as you said, it's not going to exactly take up a tremendous amount of the day. It's not going to be tremendously exhausting, but it's a lot of fun. at the same time. And so, something that, again, I think is a good way to ease kids into experiencing Disney in a different way. And you make a lot of friends. My daughter afterwards, was talking for a while about wanting to be the tour guide because she really enjoyed being on the tour and having fun and all of that. But beyond doing tours, there are other things, especially at the Magic Kingdom, that are really geared for kids. And here we're going to start to break off because we kind of have the boy road and the girl road.
And we have both. Listen,
and we have both.
We have everything that's in the catalog. We got the boy and the girl.
Correct.
So, and as they start getting older, certainly their interests start to get sometimes somewhat divergent a little bit. And I know, having the boy and the girl, two of the experiences we're going to talk about, I think, next, are very similar, but ones that each of my kids and their dad has participated in.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. So, and by the way, boys can go down the girl road and the girls can go down the boy road too. It's not exclusive, but we'll head down the girl road first. And of course, we're talking about the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, also available down at Downtown Disney. But here we're kind of talking about the location at Cinderella's castle, and this is something akin to Nirvana for little girls. I don't know of anywhere else that you could have the truly just do it up right and then some experience like the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. This is a truly the ultimate salon where girls can come in and get their hair done, get their makeup done, get the pixie dust, the whole 9 yards, even to the point of costumes. So, depending on how much you want to spend for the experience at Bibbidi Bobbidi, you can get everything from a lower end, about $50 or so for hair and makeup and things like that, or you can shoot the moon with prices going upwards of almost $200 and get costumes and hair, makeup. There's photo ops that go along with it and everything like that. But in the end, these girls are turned into little princesses, every single one of them. And why my daughter hasn't had the chance to do Bibbidi Bobbidi just yet, not that she hasn't begged me and begged me and begged me to do this, it is something, as I've seen many of the girls who do Bibbidi Bobbidi, they come out and it is just beaming, doesn't even begin to describe how just happy and overjoyed they are at doing Bibbidi Bobbidi and turning into a young princess. And
look, I think this was a brilliant move on Disney's part. It's actually been around for almost 6 years. I know it was for the 10th anniversary of World of Disney back in 2006. They introduced the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique there. Then in September 2007, it makes perfect sense to bring it into the old King's Gallery in the Magic Kingdom, because look, what little girl doesn't want to step into the Magic Kingdom, go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, have breakfast or lunch at Cinderella's royal table, and then wander the park feeling like a princess, being treated like a princess, because you can see how not only cast members but other guests interact with her. When they start to get to be this age and they see, mom going to get her their hair done or their makeup done, they want to have that experience too, but now they get it in Disney World. And again, look, I took my daughter there a couple of years ago. It's just so well done, because the second you walk past that threshold, you are immersed in a story. The women that work there are fairy godmothers in training. They pamper your child as if they are going to a high-end salon, and they give them that royal treatment with the magic and the pixie dust and all those things. Great photo opportunities, video opportunities for mom and dad, or a grandmother, grandfather that wants to treat their granddaughter. And look, if you get it, like I think we all do, Chuck, I will tell you that I got a little teary-eyed when I saw my daughter in there, because they dote on them so much. And yeah, you do have a relatively low entry point where you can get the coach package is $49.95. That's hairstyling and makeup, and again, they'll put sort of that pixie dust in their hair. The crown package includes the hair, the makeup, and nails. That's $54.95. The castle package is everything in the crown package plus an imaging package, a photo holder, and the costume. Right, that's about $189.95 plus tax. But again, sort of the memories that we walked away with from that day and the photos that we walked away from that day were just wonderful. Nobody does it like Disney does. And certainly you can go to Castle Couture and you can put together your own costume and do it yourself that way. But you want to have a memorable experience, not just for your daughter or your son. They do have a Knights package. If you're 3 to 12, you can do a Knights package. You get your hair made up and you get a sword and a shield. That's only about $15. So if maybe your brother and sister want to get in and do it together and they want to be a sort of a knight and a princess, they can do that as well. That's a relatively recent addition, but that transformation that takes place there, again, just brilliantly done. And even as a guest walking around and looking at other little girls coming out, you can't help but want to go over and really try and help them make them feel even more special.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's wonderful, especially you see these girls who have been to Bibbidi Bobbidi. And of course, you clearly know they've been to Bibbidi Bobbidi. And here they are at Cinderella's royal table for breakfast or lunch or dinner like that. And to see them now interacting with the real princesses, it is absolutely wild. And, I just love seeing these little girls totally and almost literally dolled up to look like, their favorite princess, be it, Belle or Cinderella or Rapunzel or somebody like that. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I know it's one that my daughter will be doing soon. So it will, it's something that is a wonderful and great addition.
And I
to Walt
like
Disney
the
World.
fact that there's one in downtown Disney as well. So maybe, especially for locals, if you don't have theme park tickets, you don't want to use a park day, you're spending the day in downtown Disney, you can get made up in there. There's also this very sort of interactive adventure room there that's not in the Magic Kingdom. Especially for boys, they can build pirate hats and skulls, and there's video games, and there's all kinds of extra things in there for the boys to do. Plus, you're in World of Disney, and again, you sort of wander the promenade in World of Disney and the marketplace, and again, they feel equally special without having to spend the day inside the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, now this is something that, of course, you probably want to think about maybe getting a reservation for, because it can get pretty popular, especially during the popular times of the year. So Disney recommends you call 407 WDW Style to make some reservations and get a time to be involved and have an opportunity at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, because it can get very, very popular.
Yeah, and if you have a little girl, this is something that you put a little extra aside for that you can do that for them. But like you said, Chuck, we don't leave the boys out as well. Because
that's correct. We
inside
don't leave the boys
the Magic Kingdom
out as well, right?
Or I should say, we're not going to leave the boys out as well either, because we be going to the Pirates League.
Okay, there's your pirate for you. Yeah, for the boys, it's pirate time. And, a couple of years ago, I guess now it's been almost 3 years ago, that Disney created the Pirates League, appropriately enough, located right at Pirates of the Caribbean and Adventureland in the Magic Kingdom. And this is, in many respects, the boys' version to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and equally as fun as Bibbidi Bobbidi. And, this is where the real boy and you can come out and play.
Yeah, or girls. They
girls.
Do it for
That's
girls
true.
as well, too.
Girls, too. We have plenty of scallywags of the female nature.
When you exit the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, you enter the store on the right-hand side. Where actually, if you think back to the 70s, that's where the original gift shop used to be.
Right.
Is now, and look, taking away from the experience itself, an incredibly well-detailed and well-themed experience. When you walk in, Mom and Dad, take a look around and look at how well this is themed towards this fortress in which Pirates of the Caribbean, the attraction, takes place in. Look at some of the details, like the cannonball that blew through the archway and the props on the walls. But again, like the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, you walk through that portal and that transformation takes place. You are immersed in this experience. They talk like pirates to you. But when you do it, it's not just about sitting in a chair and getting made up. The first thing that you do is you get an official pirate name. And there's a great way that they have sort of this random way that your pirate name is assigned to you. It's recorded in the captain's log, so you're buying into the experience right in there. And then when you walk into the main room, it doesn't feel like a salon. It feels like you are in this treasure room that you would see right out of either the attraction or the film. Everybody is dressed appropriately. They're speaking appropriately. And I think even more so than Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, there is an experiential story part of this, because as this transformation of your child or you is taking place, the way the story goes, that's not the end of your experience. And again, not to spoil it for you, there is a great secret at the end that you don't see coming if you've never done it before. And I was equally as, this is awesomely cool as my kids were when we did it a couple of years ago. Again, I don't want to spoil it, having done it before, but the other thing that's nice about this too is they do have packages for girls and boys. The entry point is about $29.95. They have a First Mate package or an Empress package, and you can choose who or what you want to be. You can choose the different effects that you want. So if you want an eye patch or a sword or a tattoo, temporary, you get a pirate oath and a pirate name. There's these pirate teeth that you could put in. You can be in a pirate parade. I mean, they really let you become who you want to be. Do you want the Jack Sparrow kind of makeup? Do you want to sort of have a scar going across your face? And of course, you can buy the costumes there. You can buy swords. You can buy all those extra things on top of it as well, too.
This is another, again, just a ton of fun, and be ready at the end, because similar to the Bippity Boppity Boutique, somebody we didn't mention, that all of our new pirates are now, after they are sworn in and have taken their oath to join Jack Sparrow and his crew, they march in the parade of pirates in Adventureland. Bippity Boppity, some of the princesses, they do a similar parade as well, where they'll march, do a little parade before the various guests. This also is another experience where reservations again are recommended. Here you'll want to call 407 WDW crew, as in CREW, to make a reservation. And this is something that also you need to be thinking about when you plan it as part of your day, because reservations are accepted up until about 3:30. So this is something that you're probably going to be wanting to do in the morning to early afternoon, because if you were thinking about coming in the evening and participating in joining the Pirates League and then going off to do dinner or something like that, it might not work for you. So you need to think about booking this at an earlier time of the day. Pirates League, again, something that is a ton of fun. And you talk about literally getting into character. This is something that's especially popular as you approach the fall, and imagine as many people who get dressed up for pirates and dressed up as a pirate and then go and do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Right. This is the ultimate way to get your true costume on before Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah, and look, it's a great thing with Bibbidi Bobbidi as well. It's a great surprise for your kids as well, right? They've been there a number of times, or you want to do something special for them. Surprising them with a reservation at Bibbidi Bobbidi or Pirates League is a great thing for them. You bring them over to Pirates, next thing you know, they go in and they have this experience. When they don't know it's coming, it's almost even better. And like you said, I highly recommend making reservations, especially during the busy times of year. You can make them 180 days out. So if you are starting to think about that Halloween time, make them now. You need to make them as early as possible. And of course, you can cancel, as long as you cancel within 24 hours, they won't charge your card. I think there's a $10 cancellation fee if you cancel it within that 24 hours. But the other thing, too, about this one, Chuck, and I don't think they do it with Bibbidi Bobbidi anymore. I think Bibbidi Bobbidi now has an age limit of up to 12, and I don't know if that's changed for Pirates League, but I can tell and or admit to you that a couple of years ago when I brought my kids, I did the Pirates League as well. I said, listen, if you guys are going to do it, I want to do it too. I want to be a pirate and go through the whole thing. And they treated me, again, just like that 7-year-old kid in a 43-year-old body. I also did a video. I shot a video of it, and I never posted it. And if you see the end of if you watch the very end of the video, you'll see my hesitation in doing it. But I think in honor of this segment, I'll post the video up when the show airs this week. And forgive my bad pirate impression at the end.
Oh, no, it's not so bad there, matey. All pirates are scallywags, so you fit right in. But we all know, of course, that your pirate name had to deal with food somewhere.
I have my pirate. I'm looking around my office. I have my pirate certificate in here somewhere. But I will tell you, even as an adult,
Lou DeWitt Magella, there he is.
Yeah, I love the experience. I really enjoyed the experience. My kids did as well. My son and my daughter both did it. I think my wife enjoyed most, not just only watching my kids, but watching the self-deprecating outfit and makeup that I was put in, all for the benefit of the video.
Self-deprecating is a lot of fun. Self-deprecating is good. Before we leave the Magic Kingdom, though, and speaking about hair, and this is a kid's experience, and this isn't a kid's experience at the same time, we would be remiss if we didn't mention, of course, the barbershop and the Harmony Barbershop, and especially for very young children, perhaps even really young, like first haircut, to get your very first haircut there at the Harmony Barbershop on Main Street in the Magic Kingdom. That itself can be a fantastic experience. Again, for the very little ones, it might be more of an experience for moms and dads. And, if we all remember back to our first haircuts, it was probably a little bit of a terrifying experience for the kids. But, if you were going to get a first cut, there's no better place to do it than the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, and I love the Harmony Barbershop. I think it's one of Walt Disney World sort of somewhat hidden treasures, because sometimes people, especially new guests, they'll walk by it. I mean, it's sort of tucked away in the corner by the car barn, although it originally was on what was West Center Street until 2001. It's tucked away, and people may not realize that it's a real working barbershop. And look, you walk in, I love the theming. It's got that turn of the 20th century decor and that pinstriped wallpaper and that dark wood. A lot of authentic props in there. And the cast members that work there, like guys like Michael Morocco has been there since 1997. Everybody knows him. People will go there, adults and kids, just to have Michael cut their hair. But again, I've done this as well too. You get your first haircut or your 3,000th haircut, and they have so much fun in there. And if it is your first one as a kid, you get that My First Haircut set of mouse ears. You get a certificate. Mm-hmm. It's not expensive. I think now it's still around $14, $16, somewhere around there. Here you don't need to, nor can you make reservations. It's just a walk-up kind of thing. They'll put pixie dust in your hair. They'll carve a Mickey in your hair. They'll paint a Mickey on the back of your head. Yes, I walked around with pixie dust in my hair for a day and a half, but not that I didn't shower. I just couldn't get all the pixie dust out of my hair. But it's a lot of fun. And again, it's a great sort of memorable experience for the parents as much as it is the kids.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And again, everything that we're talking about here is about making memories and enjoying time together as a family. And so, especially again for younger kids, to have that very first cut, I can't think of a more comforting place than the Magic Kingdom, even if the child is, shall we say, a little upset while getting their haircut. I would imagine it eases the blow pretty easily when you walk outside and go, hi, okay, let's go ride Dumbo. Right. Oh, okay, bad mood is now gone. We're going to go and enjoy, the rest of the park and be in the Magic Kingdom. But there are also a lot of fun experiences that don't require going into the parks. There are other things as well that you can do. A couple of brief mentions before we get outside the park. There are a couple of things in Epcot that are available for kids of a slightly older age, more towards my group, 8 or up or 10 or up. You've got Dive Quest and you've got the Seas Aqua Tour. With the Seas Aqua Tour, you can swim on the surface of the tank there at the Seas with Nemo and Friends Pavilion, which in itself could be just incredibly fun. And then, for those who might be scuba certified, if you've got a child who's scuba certified, a teenager, you can do Dive Quest and actually go underwater and things like that. So 2 more experiences that really can be a ton of fun when it comes to things with kids.
Yeah, and we alluded to the fact that there, like for adults, there are a lot of things to do that don't require park admission. There's ways to enjoy experiences outside the parks, at your resorts or at some of the other resorts as well. And what I like about some of these, Chuck, is some of them are great opportunities to do things together as a family. Some are specifically or more tailored towards maybe a mother-daughter kind of experience. And some really give kids that sense of ownership where this is just for the kids and mom and dad can't come. They get a little bit of independence we as parents feel safe at Disney World, allowing our kids to go off on their own the same way I know I speak for myself, my parents allowed me to do when I finally turned 30. But for most kids, they're allowed at an earlier age to go off on their own. And listen, let's sort of carry that pirate theme over, because one of the experiences that I wish I could do, but I cannot, is pirate themed, because there are a lot of great pirate adventures outside the parks as well.
Yes, there are. And actually, there are 4 of them, and so it just really depends on where you are in Walt Disney World. There's the Albatross Treasure Cruise. Now, that's at the Yacht and Beach Club. That runs Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There's Disney's Pirate Adventure. That's located at the Grand Floridian Dock. That's pretty much during the regular week, every day except Sunday. There's also the Island of the Caribbean Pirate Cruise. That's exclusively at the Caribbean Beach Resort and only stays within the grounds of the Caribbean Beach Resort. That's on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. And then there's also the Bayou Pirate Cruise, and that's over at the Port Orleans Riverside Dock on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Now, all of these adventures are for kids age 4 to 12, and they're going to be out on a pontoon boat that is decked out like a pirate ship, complete with pirate skull and crossbone flags and sails and all of this. Each pirate or scallywag who goes on here is going to be outfitted. They're going to get a red and white striped pirate Mickey hat or a bandana, and they're going to be under the pirate crew of a couple of cast members. And again, parents, no need to worry here. My 3 children did this. This was part of the Disney's Biggest Fan package that I received a couple of years ago. And again, my thanks to Disney and to United Vacations for awarding that so they could participate in this. The cast members know exactly how to work with the kids. All of them are well suited to dealing with children. They're all CPR certified, so safety is absolutely not a problem. Lunch also is provided, by the way. Usually it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, some goldfish crackers, maybe a Rice Krispie treat, some fruit, maybe some juice boxes, things like that. It's about a 2.5 hour tour, and they generally start around 9:30 in the morning. Not very expensive, frankly. They're only about $32 a child or so. And again, also need reservations. You can book up to 180 days in advance by calling 407 WDW Play. Now, what happens? My kids went on Disney's Pirate Adventure, so I'll speak about that one specifically, though the others, it's a similar experience. They go from stop to stop to stop, going and hitting different beaches where they literally are on the boat and they make land at a various beach and go digging around and looking for treasure. And go find different clues and different pieces of this particular puzzle and quest that they're trying to solve. And at the end, then they share up all their booty while they have lunch out and about. My kids loved it. They had such a good time. I happened to kind of sort of see them as they made their first landing at the Grand Floridian Beach, and they were just having a blast. It was so much fun. And again, for the Disney's Pirate Adventure, they start at the Grand Floridian Dock near where the Grand One is, move around and go to the Grand Floridian Beach, the Polynesian Beach, over to the Wilderness Lodge Beach, over to the Contemporary Beach. So you can see they're really getting around here. And then come back around after about 2 to 2.5 hours. And they're just singing and dancing, and there's plenty of yo-ho, yo-ho going on. The kids really, really enjoyed everything that was going on. And, this is another opportunity where, the kids are away. My wife and I actually had the chance to kind of just walk around and enjoy the Grand Floridian itself, and just kind of sit back and relax for a few hours where we didn't have the kids to have to worry about. And, we enjoyed just a couple of hours of just quiet time while they went off and frankly, were pillaging and other things that pirates do. So, something that I strongly recommend. It's a lot of fun, not real expensive, and something that kids are going to really, really enjoy.
Now, there's something actually that I don't like about these pirate adventures, believe it or not.
No, you're still too old, buddy.
I can't do it. Because listen, I love the fact that, again, it's something for the kids. They go off on their own. They have got that sense of adventure and independence. But Chuck and Matt, look, we're kids at heart, right? Imagine if Disney had some sort of immersive pirate adventure where you can get on like remember the old Chinese junk that used to be at the
Oh, yeah.
Polynesian? You get on the East Winds and they take you out to what used to be Treasure Island or Discovery Island, and you become immersed in some sort of a pirate adventure or a scavenger hunt or a quest for 2 hours in the morning for $32. They would not be able to, book it fast enough for people because we would love this kind of thing. But again, that's purely selfish on my part. I love the fact that they've got this for kids and look, my kids have seen it as we've either been on the monorail or been on watercraft, and they're like, wait a minute, what's that pirate boat? What is that thing? And what are those kids doing on it? I try and distract them at that point, but it's something that I'm going to let them do probably on an upcoming trip, and I'll certainly report on it more, maybe get a video of them doing it so you can get an idea of what exactly it looks like instead of just hearing about it. But like you said, Chuck, I've heard nothing but really positive reviews from families who have done this with and for their kids. They
really did have a blast. And being a parent, I was, you're a little nervous. You're down in Walt Disney World where, I know some people down there, but again, you're kind of letting your kids off and you have to have a little bit of trusting, but I felt fine. You talk to these cast members and they knew exactly what they were doing. They made sure everybody had their life vests on and cinched up nice and tight. And then they just got them right on it. And it was like, Mom's, Dad's good. Bye, go, get out of here. Goodbye. See you. We'll see you in a couple hours. They wanted to get rid of us, and so, the kids were really thrilled with doing that. By the way, Lou, don't forget, you talk about, being involved in pirates. You can do the Pirate and Pals Fireworks Voyage. That's still available for you and with kids, so you can have a slightly different pirate adventure and go see fireworks at the same time. So that is another option, just
yeah, but
reminding you.
This one has PB&J Uncrustables. So
well, but nothing beats a PB&J there.
And again, while this is for both boys and girls, and something that both my kids want to do, there are also a couple of things that I think have a really nice feminine touch to it. And when I think of these kind of things, especially this first one, this is something that I am going to give as a gift to my wife and daughter for them to do together. And like one of the pirate cruises, this takes place over at the Grand Floridian, and it's the My Disney Girl Tea Party. And if you are familiar at all with the American Girl doll phenomenon, which is huge, sort of take that and add a great Disney touch to it. Again, American Girl dolls are sort of a couple of feet high, and you can make these dolls sort of keep the same facial features and colorings and hair and eyes as your daughter, and they can be dressed in incredible amounts of outfits. And I've been to the American Girl doll store in New York. Dads, leave your credit cards at home. But now you can also buy Disney-themed outfits for the girls. But if you really want to take it to a whole nother step, they have this event, and this is an event that takes place
this is definitely an event
at the Garden View Tea Room, which is great because, again, Chuck, this is something that I think it's something for girls. If they're about 3 to 11, 3 to 12 or so, they can come dressed as a princess and they can take their mom. It's almost like you take your mom with you as opposed to your mom taking you to this.
Absolutely. This was something that I gave to my wife and daughter on our very first trip to Walt Disney World just a few years ago. And it was almost like, okay, we're going to start our Walt Disney World experience off right. And boy, was it right. This probably is the one event that my daughter talks about more than any other special experience at Walt Disney World. And she still has that doll. In fact, it's probably in her bed with her right now. The My Disney Girl Perfectly Princess Tea Party is by far and away the ultimate in getting your girl on, getting the little princess on, because you go to what feels like and really is an exclusive tea party with Princess Aurora, with Rose Petal, who is another character who you will meet, and it's just a fantastic opportunity especially for moms and girls. Although young princes are welcome, they can come too. Disney accommodates them as well. The doll itself, as you said, is very much in line with the American Girl style of doll. In fact, many of the American Girl clothes will fit on the doll too. And the quality is just fantastic. The doll, this is truly a quality collectible that you take home with you as well, dressed like Princess Aurora. And this is probably the best opportunity for your little girl to be dressed up like a princess and come in and do a princess tea party. So I can easily see, let's start off at the Bippity Boppity Boutique, get the hair, the makeup done, get the costume on, and then let's head over to the Perfectly Princess tea party and have just the most magical of ceremonies. The girl is introduced like a princess, and as visiting royalty, and it's moms are just kind of tagging along. The little girls, and by the way, we're talking about for girls ages 3 to 11, they are the star. Moms and dads are just kind of the accompaniment, but it is, my own particular daughter, it was the Princess Jillian from Virginia, and introduced as such, and in she comes and is welcomed like true royalty, and then next comes the next guest, and so everybody is introduced like a very formal event. And then they come in and they get their own types of various teas or juices or things like that, whatever they would like, and then a little something to eat. Then there is meet and greet time and games and activities with Aurora and with Rose Petal, and then of course they also get their own doll, and it is matched and it is dressed exactly like Princess Aurora, and just something that for years and years, my daughter just took that Aurora doll everywhere with her, and even now, she still looks at the different outfits and different accessories for the doll. This is even years later.
Yeah, and look, it's so appropriate to be at the Grand Floridian. You look at that Victorian theming and that afternoon tea there is just appropriate. And again, you add this princess storytelling element, and again, they have story time and they sing songs together. They walk away with this doll and a tiara and a bracelet and roses, and they really make it a memorable experience, again, because the little girl is the focus. Again, little princes can go too, and they don't get an American Girl doll, they get a Duffy. I think they get a Pirate Mickey hat as well too. But it's such a nice thing for a mom and daughter to do together. They sit down and they have, mom will have tea, the daughter will have juice. They both get lunch. They have egg salad sandwiches and chicken salad sandwiches. The things that you would have if you were to have afternoon tea, sort of that turn of the century Victorian style. The experience itself is not the least expensive experience in the parks. This is something that is very, very special. So for adults, it's $89. For each child, it's $175 or so, including. So you're looking about $250 because every child must be accompanied by an adult. It does include lunch for the adult and the child. It also includes the American Girl doll, like you said, which on its own is probably about $50 or $60, I believe, just by itself, plus the clothing, all the other accessories. So don't let that price tag scare you because of what you get to walk away with as far as the physical takeaways and the experience itself. And like you said, for what you did with your daughter, something that she still talks about, that's what you do it for. So I picture something like this, giving it to my daughter for her birthday or my wife for Mother's Day, and letting them go and doing this for them together. Like everything else, you can make reservations 180 days out. They do it Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10:30 to noon. I think it's one of those I mentioned early on in the show. We talk about things like Party for the Senses, that indulgent, sort of really extravagant, memorable kind of thing. This is the sort of the kids' princess equivalent of that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. This is the kids' version of going to something like the California Grill. Granted, kids can go there, but really, these kinds of things sometimes are adult experiences. Even better, kids' version of going to Victoria.
Exactly right. That's what I was
going to say. There we go.
It's the princess version of V&A.
Right. And this is just, if you're going to go all out princess, here is where you go all out princess. And I do strongly recommend that you get, if you're thinking about this, you need to get a reservation and you need to be ready at that 180-day mark, because it's a very limited affair. There are not that many folks that can participate in the particular seating of it. So if it's something you're interested in, I would strongly be ready at that 180-day mark to make that booking, because it's a lot of fun. Now, you don't have to go all out and, spend $175 just for a child. You can do some other types of tea parties and maybe even have a friend or two or hatter join you, because you can also, of course, have tea with Alice also at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, and what I like about this is a more value-priced option if you still want to do that tea party kind of experience. And this one too, Chuck, is different because, yeah, parents can come, but maybe this is a good time for parents to go and do something else. There's a small group of kids, about 20 to 25 kids, that has this story time, tea time with the characters from Alice in Wonderland. And it's okay if mom and dad want to go off and do something else. Again, the entry point here is only $40. Obviously, tax and whatnot is included. But they do, they not only have lunch, but it becomes an interactive kind of thing. So they decorate their own cupcakes and they, create their own peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and there's Rice Krispie treats. And it really is a lot of fun for them. And it's their kind of kids version of Party for the Senses, because it's just them. For the most part, mom and dads aren't there. They sort of, again, have that sense of independence. And it can be as young as 4 years old, too. As long as the kids are potty trained, they can go. And again, Chuck, as the continually overprotective father of my daughter especially, this is one of those things, whether it's here or elsewhere in Disney World or on the Disney Cruise Line, that I have no thoughts whatsoever about being able to leave them there for an event like this.
Yeah, this is, again, another fun time. And this is really, I can see the opportunity where it's the young girls who are able to come together and truly have that tea party that, they always play at home. Here they get to do it for real. And not only do they get to do it for real, they get to do it with Alice and the Mad Hatter. And, moms and dads, as you said, for the most part, are not participating in this. This is much like the Pirate Adventure. This is kid time only and for kids only. And, this gives a chance for moms and dads to spend an hour. It usually lasts about from 2 to 3 o'clock. It's a chance for moms and dads to spend an hour to enjoy the Grand Floridian. Maybe if you schedule it right, do a little mini spa treatment or something like that while the kids are having their own tea party.
Right, and let's be clear too. You don't have to be staying at the Grand Floridian, because just like the Pirates Adventures, you don't need to be staying at the Yacht and Beach Club or Caribbean Beach or Port Orleans. And these are open to all guests. So it's actually a nice opportunity, maybe if you've never been to Grand Floridian, or you've never spent some time sort of wandering the grounds or going to get lunch or taking on a watercraft. This is a great opportunity to do it, again, without having to go into the parks and have a great day at the resort.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. We have talked many a time about how the resorts are an experience in and among themselves, that you don't require and have to go to any one of the theme parks or the water parks. The resorts themselves are an attraction and are an experience, and the Wonderland Tea Party is just one more example of that, and gives you a reason to go to the resorts, to go and see the different things that the resorts offer. And again, you don't have to be a resort guest by any means. You don't even have to be an on-property guest. Anybody can book one of these experiences at the tea parties, the Pirate Adventures, the my Disney Girl parties, anything that we've talked about. You don't have to be a resort guest. You can be staying wherever you want and still enjoy and have a fantastic time.
Yeah, and we talk about these kind of special events as we're terming them, although they take place almost every day throughout the resorts. And when we were talking about this segment, there was something else that I thought about for kids specifically to do. And yeah, maybe the intention of why they're going to these places is because maybe mom and dad want to have an adult night out or go have a nice dinner or whatever it may be. But one thing that I've done that I had never done anywhere else and still have never done anywhere else is bring my kids to the children's activity centers located throughout the different resorts. For kids 3 to 12, if you guys want to go out and have a nice place, rather than do something like Kids Night Out where a babysitter comes into the room, you can bring them to these different activity centers. There's 6 of them located on property. There's Simba's Cub House at Animal Kingdom Lodge. There's the Neverland Club, which I still wish I could go to, over at the Polynesian. The Cub's Den at Wilderness Lodge. the Sandcastle Club at Yacht and Beach Club, the Mouseketeer Club at the Grand Floridian, and over at the Swan and Dolphin, they have Camp Dolphin as well there too. These are all open from about 4:30, maybe 5 o'clock or so, until about midnight. And if you have kids, again, ages 3 to 12, they have everything in there from video games to snacks. They'll feed them dinner. There's Disney movies. A really great place for them to play. Again, trained counselors there, all who know CPR. They're meeting kids their own age. And I brought my kids there, and at first they were sort of like, well, wait a minute, where are you guys going? Because we always took our kids everywhere. And after they were there for 5 minutes, just like on the Disney Cruise Line, they didn't want to come out. It's a great way for, if you guys are on vacation, you don't have extended family with you, and you want to have a nice evening at Victoria and Albert's or whatever it may be. It's not very expensive at all. The cost is $11.50 per hour. There's a 2-hour minimum charge. You probably should make reservations at most locations. You can also do walk-ups as well. I think Camp Dolphin, you need to have reservations there. But
yeah, reservations are required at Camp Dolphin.
Okay, 407 WDW Dine. This is something that we've done, Chuck, a number of times. My kids loved the Mouseketeer Club. They really liked the Sandcastle Club and the Neverland Club at Yacht Club and Polynesian. And we've done a sort of a spur-of-the-moment thing. We walked up, that they had availability, and they really, really had a great time doing it. And it gave us a chance to have one of those, adult night outs that you don't normally get a chance to do.
Well, and I'll actually turn the tables on it. It was probably a chance for the kids to have an adult night free, too. I mean, think about it. How many kids would love the fact to kick out mom and dad for a couple of hours and be able to do some stuff on their own? Not necessarily go to the parks, but go and be out and not have mom and dad with them. Kids love to have time where they don't have mom and dad around, and moms and dads love to have that same kind of time, provided that the kids are in a safe place. And here is just a safe place where kids can be kids, have fun, have some parent free time, and parents can have some kid free time, all with really not that bad of an expense. I mean, $11.50 an hour is probably cheaper than what you can get babysitting at home these days.
Right. And again, they have meals, they have snacks, and it's not just, all right, kids, we're going to plop you in front of a TV and we'll check back on in an hour. They are in there playing games with the kids the whole time.
Yeah, they're having fun. They're truly enjoying it.
They're doing crafts. They do a lot. My kids came back with a lot of crafts and coloring and things that they made while they were there as well.
Oh yeah, there's tons of activities and a lot of takeaways. Again, we talk about hands-on experiences. We've talked in the past about the kid cots at Epcot. This is another example of that, but amped up so much more of what kids can be able to do and let some of their creativity out and have fun and do different things. I do want to mention something though. Back at Epcot that I forgot to talk about was the Behind the Scenes tour. This is something that's great for kids as well. This is something that everybody is available to take the Behind the Scenes tour. It's not all that expensive and usually lasts just a couple of hours or so at Epcot and in the Land Pavilion. But the thing I like about it with kids is that they incorporate the kids into the tour without giving too much away. Towards the beginning of the tour, the kids are given something that they need to hold on to. And later on, in about the middle to 2/3 of the way through the Behind the Scenes tour, the kids play an important role in helping maintain the health and viability of the Land Pavilion and of the greenhouses. To find out exactly what I'm talking about, well, you'll have to kind of take the tour to find out. But it's something that my kids really enjoyed being part of that. And so it's something that I would strongly recommend you consider doing behind the scenes. Not real expensive, as I said. It's about $18 for adults. Kids are usually about $14. And again, with many of these tours and other experiences, there may be discounts for annual pass holders or DVC members. So something to ask about when you book the particular experience.
Yeah, and just what I want to wrap up with is we're talking about special events and special experiences, some things for kids to do together, some things for kids to do alone. But I did want to mention a couple of other events and experiences that you can and you should do together as a family, and not necessarily things that are going to be hard-ticketed or an add-on kind of event. Keep in mind some of the special events that go on throughout the year, because those are great opportunities to really do things with and bond with your kids in a whole new way. And the things that came to my mind was Star Wars weekends, first and foremost. I'm a Star Wars fan. My kids are Star Wars fans. And when you go there and you sort of bridge those generation gaps by enjoying that special event together, it's a lot of fun. My son and I love to go, ride Star Tour together and see the characters and meet all the people. That's a lot of fun. The other thing, too, that really has become, and I know next year my kids are planning on actively participating in it, it's become more of not just a destination event, not an athletic event, but a family event, are marathon weekends.
Yep.
Because now it's not just the full marathon, the goofies, the halves, the 5Ks. There's the family fun runs. There's the 100, the 400 meter. There's the diaper crawls. So now
Mickey Mile. Yep.
the whole family can get involved. And that's one of the things that, looking towards 2013, I really want to do. And what I said about doing the 5K is that I want as many people to participate in that weekend as much as possible, because it's not about the athletic part. It's about the fun experience of what that weekend is like, and participating in an event and getting a medal and going through everything that the community aspect of what that event brings. Even things, Chuck, like flower and garden festivals. Great way to introduce your kids to Epcot. Introduce them to things like horticulture. They have a lot of special things just for kids. They've got the butterfly gardens. They've got the sort of Pixie Hollow fairy area. Even when we talk about things like food and wine, again, that is very much sort of positioned as an adult event. I think that's a great way to sort of introduce your kids into trying some new foods. Again, your entry point is maybe $3 to $5 to let them try a little appetizer portion. Yeah, maybe they're used to things like chicken nuggets and burgers. Maybe they'll want to go around with you and experience, not the wine part, but the food part of the Food and Wine Festival by sampling some of those little things with you. It becomes, again, you get your little passport, an adventure that you guys can experience together.
Oh, without a doubt. In fact, it was Star Wars weekends that brought me to Walt Disney World for the very first time. So Star Wars weekends started all of this and everything that I have been involved with Walt Disney World and Disney, and with you, with this podcast. With Star Wars weekends led me to talking to you tonight about what we're talking about right now. Then there is the marathon weekend. My kids and I participated, the kids participated in the Mickey Mile back in 2010 while I did the half marathon. They had a blast. They loved doing that Mickey Mile, and they still have, the medals they very proudly displayed doing the Mickey Mile. Afterwards, and after I did the half marathon, my son looked at me and said he wants to do the half marathon once he gets old enough. They have to be at least 14 to run in the bigger events. But there's nothing that says, they can do the family runs, the 5K, like I said, the Mickey Mile. The kids are really enjoying all the various athletic events. When we've done a couple of the flower and garden festivals, my daughter loves going into the butterfly garden. She thinks that itself is just a blast. And so the special events that Disney puts on all throughout the year, many of them are very well suited, in fact, have special events just for kids. And so, having and doing kids' activities is something that you can do at Walt Disney World all throughout the year. Both of the things that we've talked about that are year-long, and also the various special events that take place throughout the year. And if you're on the fence about things like the Mickey Mile, I strongly recommend you give it a shot. Let your kids literally run out there and see what they can do, and you might just be surprised at what they can accomplish and what you can accomplish. You can do a 5K. Even if you don't think you can do it. Trust me, from a guy who didn't think he could do a marathon and finished it, you can do a 5K, and so can your kids. You don't have to run everything. You can walk and enjoy it and truly be a family event for everybody from young to old.
That's what we're doing next year, 2013.
That's right.
I committed to run, walk, crawl, eat through, whatever it is, the 5K, because I want everybody to come out and get off the couch. You don't have to train. Let's just do it. We'll walk it. We'll have a great time. That's what it's all about. If you want to find out more, you can go to wdwradio.com/running. Join the running team. Help raise some money for Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. But I digress. Chuck, the point is, whether you're an adult, kids, family, there's always so much more to explore at the parks. These things are just some of the examples of some things that kids can do individually with mom and dad, with their mom, with their brothers and sisters, with their cousins, with new friends, whatever, because that's what this is all about. That's what Disney is all about, is enhancing your enjoyment and your experiences in the parks. There is always something else to do. And I would love to hear from you, the listeners, if you've ever had the experiences with any of these before, what your thoughts are. You can leave it at the comments section for this week's show notes over at WDWRadio.com. Or if you haven't tried any of these in the past, what do you think about some of these ideas? Are there any that really sort of jump out at you? Maybe you want to experience for your kids or with your kids, whether it's tea, a pirate adventure, a tour, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, or whatever it may be. Please let us know over at WDWRadio.com. Chuck Leinberger from DisneyDaddy.blogspot.com. I want to thank you again for coming on the show. We got a lot of great ideas for other ways that we can enjoy and share our understanding and appreciation of the Disney parks.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be here. And just tell you what, keep moving forward. Keep on running. I'm going to get you on the marathon again, Lou. You're going to get there. You'll be there.
I should have stopped recording 5 minutes ago.
Nice try, pal. Keep training.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks so much for taking the time and tuning in this and every week. Please come by the website at WDWRadio.com and comment on this week's show. Share your thoughts about some of your favorite special kids events in Walt Disney World. While you're there, be sure and explore the all-new website, the new blogs, discussion forums, videos, polls, contests, and lots more. Also, remember this Saturday, March 10th, you can come by and join us if you're going to be in Walt Disney World for the WDW Radio Day at the Ballpark. Atlanta Braves spring training is back at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. We thought it'd be fun to spend the day together with the WDW Radio family. We're going to have a little sort of picnic area on the lawn for an afternoon of fun and friends. The game starts at 1:05 versus the New York Yankees. We'll probably get there about 11:30 or so. Please note, you do need to purchase tickets via Ticketmaster.com or at the ESPN Wide World of Sports on the day of the game. For more information, visit WDWRadio.com/events or visit the website, click on the events tab. You can also stay tuned to Twitter. I am at Lou Mongello, and Facebook.com/Lou Mongello for updates. In addition to commenting on the show and the blogs, discussion forums, I want to hear from you as well, so you can be heard on the air by calling the voicemail line 407-900-9391. That's 407-900-WDW1. Or if you have a question you want answered on the air, you can email me at lou@WDWRadio.com. In addition to the podcast and the weekly videos, be sure and come by and join us for a weekly live video broadcast and chat every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Come by and be part of the WDW newscast. We'll record it, post it later on YouTube and in the iTunes feed. You can watch, ask, and answer questions, and then stay for a while longer as we just chat about all things Disney. Again, you can come by starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday at WDWRadioLive.com. Speaking of events and getting together with other members of the WDW Radio community and family, don't forget about our WDW Radio cruise on the Disney Dream, November 4th through the 8th, 2012. We did one last February, had a great time. This year, we have a very special guest in Richard M. Sherman of the Sherman Brothers. For more information, for a no-obligation quote, you can visit WDWRadioCruise.com. And please keep in mind, you do need to book as part of our group in order to take part in all the special events that we're going to have, including everything taking place with Richard Sherman. He is going to be part of our group only and not for the general passengers. So again, if you do need to book through WDWRadioCruise.com. Quick thanks to my partners and sponsors, Mouse Fan Travel. Whether you're coming to Disney World, Disneyland, on the cruise with us, or for Adventures by Disney, Becky Menken and her team of agents give you not only the best possible prices, all the available discounts, but incredible levels of personal service, all at no additional cost to you. You can visit them at mousefantravel.com. When you're coming to Walt Disney World, you want to stay right in the heart of Disney? I love the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin, the restaurants, the lounges, the Mandara Spa, the incredibly comfortable Heavenly Beds. Again, within walking and boat distance to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. You can visit them over at swananddolphin.com. And maybe you want a little bit of a larger home or a condo, 7-bedroom houses with kitchens and pools and game rooms and spas. All-Star Vacation Homes has more than 150 homes within just a few miles of Walt Disney World. Check them out at allstarvacationhomes.com. Also, be sure and come by celebrationspress.com. There you can subscribe to and order back issues of Celebrations magazine. And as always, my friends, and you are my friends, whether we have met yet or not, and I hope to meet many of you this weekend at the Braves-Yankees game, all I ask is that if you like the show, please help spread the word. Let others know about it. Tweet out that you're listening. Share links on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, other discussion forums, and please come by, rate and review the show over on iTunes as well. Very much appreciated. And finally, and most importantly, I want to thank you all so very much for allowing me to share my passion for Disney with you in so many different ways. Having you come back and listen and watch and interact means more to me than you know. And I hope in return, you become inspired to start pursuing what you love and what you are passionate about each and every day. And when you do, I hope you always keep moving forward and have a great week, everybody. So until next time, see ya.
Hey. Hi, Lou. My name's Henry, and I'm 8 from Naperville, Illinois. What I want to put in my house for the attraction ride is the Peter Pan ship. And, because it's cool in the looks. So, I'll be listening to your show tomorrow. Bye.
Hey Lou, it's Mark from Pittsburgh calling. I have a question for you. What did you do with Jen Tremblay?
Hey Lou, it's Jen Tremblay up here in Bristol, Connecticut. Just wanted to call and say hi. It's been a couple weeks since I've called in to say hello to you as well as my fellow WDW radio family. I just wanted to say hello, and I just finished listening to this week's show, 263, about the top 10 attraction vehicles with you and Tim Foster. I pretty much was agreed with both of your lists. I don't even know if I could make a top 10 really when it comes to attraction vehicles. My favorites, top 3 favorites, I would say, are definitely Soarin', Tower of Terror, and also Splash Mountain. Those are my top 3. But again, there's so many more that I can't even begin to talk about. But anyway, I just wanted to say I love the new look of the website. I think it's awesome, and I've been listening to a lot of your older podcasts going back and just listening to things that I maybe missed the first time around. So I just want to say thank you again for everything that you do, and I look forward to my upcoming trip this September. I'm going to be going down for a week at the parks and followed by a week-long Disney cruise on the Fantasy, so I can't wait. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Hope everyone has a great week and look forward to meeting you someday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi, Lou. This is Kenny from West Palm Beach. If you haven't checked out the Tron Legacy soundtrack, it's called Reconfigured. They took the original soundtrack and gave it to a whole bunch of DJs, and they remixed the original Tron Legacy soundtrack. And it's got some great, great songs on there. Plus the fact that they've been replaying Tron Legacy on Stars so much, I'm picking up a lot more of the audio cues and enjoying the remix of the original album. Plus also thanks for Where's My Water on my iPhone. It's my new favorite game, and I pretty much got the thing knocked out. I'm waiting for them to release some more levels. So come on, Disney, get some more levels out there. Have a great day. Love the show. Keep up the great work.
You've got a friend in me. Yeah.